Ron Rivera, is his job on the line in your opinion?
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that I think for two reasons. The first one is I don't know if his coaching style meshes with Josh Harris. Josh brought in with the 76ers a general manager, Daryl Morey, that was early on into analytics. And that's when trust the process came through. And that became their motto and the way they built their franchise. Ron is an old school coach. We know that. So is Jack Del Rio. So I don't know if what Josh Harris wants to see out of a football franchise is going to mesh the way Ron runs it. Now, football and NBA could be a little bit different. It's not completely apples to apples, but I just really wonder if they're going to be the right fit. But more importantly, it's about winning. I mean, Ron's gotten here and he's had to take on a whole lot of stuff. And you can see he's a lot happier this year at training camp because he's focusing on ball right now, which is great. I love this for him. He deserves this year to just be a head coach and work in the defensive room, work in the offensive room, and stop having to answer all these PR questions that he gets from them because of all the junk that Snyder was getting himself involved in. But he's consistently only won 7 and 8 games as head coach. He won the NFC East, and had a losing record. So that's not anything that, after 3 years, he can be sitting there saying like, yep, see, hey, new owner, look what I've been doing. So I think, there is a lot on the line here. And plus, he's putting his reputation on the line with a 5th-round pick in Sam Howell. Like, that's a bold move to basically say, hey, I'm going with this young quarterback. This is what I got. Because there's one thing Ron has failed as head coach is finding a quarterback. Saying that we're going to keep Dwayne Haskins and give him a chance, going, for Ryan Fitzpatrick. And he got hurt, but nobody was really excited about Fitzpatrick coming in here. Last year making the trade, you were the only one that was thrilled about it.
I was ready for the magic.
You drank all the Kool-Aid. You're so right. And then the trade for Carson Wentz, and Carson hasn't been signed by anybody. It's true. We got trade Ron during that, from them. So Ron has not been able to figure out the quarterback situation. Now he's going with an unproven 5th-round pick. It's kind of curious. So I think Ron's job absolutely is on the line. I think he's got a lot of proof.
Mm-hmm. Now, I will agree with you on some of that. I do think his job is on the line. I do think you need to look at him because, yes, we have struggled these last couple of years. But then I'm going to play devil's advocate because let's look at the quarterbacks we've had in his tenure. The Kyle Allens, the one-legged Alex Smith, the late Dwayne Haskins. You know what I mean? And then some of the guys that we've had recently, it's been a struggle. It has. We haven't started great, but we're never out of a season. In those last 3 years that we've only won 7, 8 games, there's still points in each of the last 3 seasons, going back to the one that we won the division, where you're looking at it like, these guys are playing because it did look great in September and October, but now in November, these guys are kind of getting it together. So I think, in my opinion, keep him. In my opinion, we've seen when some of those videos at the end of the year, especially with Reeves, when he got into the Pro Bowl, he said, we'll run through a wall for you. We'll do anything for you. He is very invested in those players, and he cares deeply about them, and I think they feel the same way. And one thing we know about Ron is that, yes, he'll have years where, like he did with us, he took a team with a losing record to the playoffs. He did that with the Carolina Panthers. He also had a year where they went 15-1 and got to the Super Bowl. So I'm saying if there's something that he does, that old school mentality, that I love, that bridge back to the good old days, you know what I mean? That is something I think we need to keep. And I think having him here, I think that's going to be that at least that start to shift to bringing it back to where it needs to be.
Right. No, I think Ron's coaching ability absolutely has to be commended for the fact that, think about all the times under Mike Shanahan, under Jim Zorn, where the bottom would fall out and we'd end up with 3 wins, with 4 wins, and he does. He gets the team to keep playing and competing. And, COVID didn't help when the team basically all went down, but he kept them competitive. And we always say, give me a December to remember. And he's done that in all 3 years as head coach. So I'll give him that. And I want to say I'm not rooting for him to be fired. I like Ron a lot. I just think there's a lot at stake for him this year. And I think he's got to get, the only way he can secure it double-digit wins and maybe win in the playoffs. It's about the only way he can secure it. If he makes the playoffs, maybe, because this is a pretty good roster. So if you're not in playoff contention, it's either because the quarterback didn't work out or maybe some other factors. But it's like this is a ready-made roster for someone else to come in and take it and run. So that's kind of attractive to bring someone else in.
Some people might say, I don't know who these people are, but some people might say we have one of the best quarterbacks that we've had over the last couple years.
Nobody's saying that.
They're saying it. I'm saying it. I'm saying it right now, baby. Let's go.
Dun, 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 dun.
Let's go. The Washington Commanders. There it is.